What's up, ATG fam? Just finished my Friday squats. Now I'm going to show you live session. That's the one time I think it's cool to throw in a little bit of plyometrics. I'm going to show you right now. The most used current plyometric in sports training is a box jump. Forgive me if I make any mistakes here. I don't really have a box jump setup, but a box jump is a great expression of your muscular power, right? So you can do a box jump pretty well, almost with no elasticity. So power, awesome quality. Think a defensive lineman exploding, right? Power. So for a defensive lineman to make 100 million, he has to have power. But like Michael Jordan, now you're looking at a blend of elasticity. So let's look at the difference, okay? Power, that's the most used drill right now in jump training. The problem with the power is that's not what protects the injury. So what's the most proven for the elasticity? That's the depth jump. So a depth jump, okay, would be dropping from something. You would have a landing, and that could be taken as high as you want, and you could then try to rebound. Now, where did all the best depth jump studies come from? Communist Russia, okay? So if you're watching this and you're the leader of a communist country with millions of bodies to spare, I mean, you can just keep going up. Depth jump is even proven over a Vertimax, or depth jump is the most proven plyometric drill. Why? It's because we can create even more force than we're capable of producing. So it just makes sense. You can cause. So let's say you could jump, let's say my feet could get that high. But now, let's say I drop from here. You see, that's more force than I could experience in any other plyometric drill. That's why it's most proven, but the higher you go, the more the injury risk gets, okay? So I'm not willing to risk other bodies. I'm willing to risk my body. I do stuff like this 7 days a week. My mission is to create the most bulletproof knees in the world. I think considering I do stuff like this 7 days a week, have been for a long time, zero issues, I'd say I'm getting close to actually some of the most bulletproof knees in the world. I'm okay with using my body for that, but I'm not okay with just forcing people into that. So the box jump, fun. Trust me, if I was in the gym, I would go over and do some of those all the time. Now what I wouldn't do with the box jump is keep going so high. So let's look at the jump and a land here, okay? Okay, I wouldn't then do it so high that now I'm risking injury, you see what I mean, by how high I get my leg. Plus, that's not really measurable. So I would use the box jump as a fun measurable of like, what can I easily jump onto? You know, honestly, it's fun, okay? The depth jump is also kind of fun. So I'm not saying you can't box jump, I'm not saying you can't depth jump. But what if we could get the benefits of both of those, okay? So let's look at one depth jump, and I'll have my video guy try to use some slow-mo to get a comparison, okay? So let's look at a depth jump, and let's see, maybe look at my hip, right? Not my feet. How high does my hip get in the air? Okay? Now I'm just gonna do a vertical jump. Let's compare those hip heights. So you can see just doing a vertical jump, mentally, this might seem more fun. Physically, nothing different is happening between doing a vertical jump. Now with the depth jump, we know it's the best. But what are we missing with the depth jump? Well, I find the depth jump makes our imbalances worse. Okay, think about this. Someone's doing a bench press, they're warming up. Then you see them by the last set, you see, it's not like they warm up like that every time, right? As you get towards your limit, you do what you have to survive. So if you have one side different than the other, without realizing it, you're probably gonna favor a side without even realizing it. So I find that the depth jump has the most potential, but it can be very injurious and it can make our imbalances worse. And our knee injury risk is not just how strong we are, it's actually more linked to how balanced we are. So the greater the imbalance from one knee to the other, the more likely for a serious injury, actually even the more likely for chronic pain. This is proven in any studies done on knees. It's just common sense, right? So everything so far is common sense. We like the box jump, we like the depth jump, but they're both missing aspects. The box jump isn't training the elasticity, and it's not really a strict measure, but it is fun. The depth jump is training the elasticity, but it could perpetuate imbalances. So let's take that vertical jump, right? Whoa! Now what if I do a depth jump on one leg? Now what if I have to take that same vertical jump and do it on the other leg? Now I just put money in the bank towards bulletproof knees. And in fact, I approximated the force of about twice what that jump was. But it still is self-limiting, because with the depth jump, you can keep going higher, higher until you get seriously hurt, right? It's only a limit for any of our human bodies, whereas this is self-limiting. If you can't handle, so if someone goes, oh, but that hurt my knee. Wow, you're welcome. I just saved you from spending tens of thousands of dollars trying to fix your knees, because we just found if you can't jump as high as you can and land it without pain, then I'm saving you now from having surgeries later in your sport. Go ahead and watch Derrick Rose. Do you know how many landings he had through that left leg? Through the left leg, through the left leg. 10 times more landings through the left leg than the right leg, because he's right-handed. So that happens to a lot of players. Watch, so many guys. Routine hop step, that was the first ACL. Should have landed on the right. The right was not as capable as left. Rest is history. Derrick Rose's career forever altered, not because he wasn't a good athlete, not because he was unlucky, but because he was imbalanced. Some guys get luckier. Michael Jordan planted right, left, boom, boom. So he planted hard through the right, but off one foot planted through the left. Derrick Rose was unlucky. He planted only left, right, and only left leg. 0 career dunks prior to his ACL with a right left plant or a right leg plant prior to that ACL. Now, that's a separate subject of jump balance. And guess what? If you play a sport, I personally don't think you need any plyometrics. However, I've taken actual NBA players with chronic knee conditions, seen which side they land through, and then just had them finish sessions. So I'm only advising once a week, do 10 reps each leg. And check it out. What does everything in the ATG system have in common? Scalable. My mom could do this. Just get through. So I had a guy who had no career dunks landing through the right leg, just practice, boom, landing it. Boom, you see that? Until he could express his full force and return it with no pain. Now, depth jumps, we're getting that effect. Box jump, we're getting the effect of working on that triple extension. So he ended up being able to do new dunks that he had never been able to. Imagine being plateaued in your vertical jump for years and having chronic knee pain. And then all it took was 10 reps once a week like that. But this is force, because the depth jump is even proven to increase maximum strength up to 14%. So what's so dope about this, what fucking equipment do I need? Goddamn, nothing. And guess what? I out-jump all these other strength coaches doing their velocity and all this stuff. I started lower than them, and now I'm jumping higher than them using something simpler than them, because I promise you, the closer you get to the truth, the simpler it gets. It doesn't get more complex. The more complex it seems like it's getting, the less results you're gonna get. This is a natural law of life. That's the drill. And if you're balanced, then you could do, so just with that, I'm now getting the benefits of box jumps with that explosion, right? I'm getting the benefits of box jumps, and I'm getting the benefits of depth jumps, rebalancing one side to the other. Also getting, because it's one leg, we know unilateral plyometrics work even better than double leg plyometrics. And I think it's because you still have your whole arm swing, but you only have one leg. You still have your whole back, but you only have one leg. So what does that do? Go ahead and look at that ankle, and boom, soleus. Okay, it forces you actually to develop more foot, more soleus. Soleus has the strongest pull of any muscle in the human body. Not to mention your Achilles tendon is the biggest, strongest muscle in the human body. So again, these velocity guys looking at the hip power and stuff, they're missing out on the greatest source of athleticism, and it's not your muscles, it's your tendons. Your tendons are stronger than muscles. So you can do all the Olympic lifting you want in the world. You're not training your Achilles tendon, not even close to what it's capable of. Just going like this. You could change the whole world's knee pain and knee surgery statistics in sports. This is a cherry on top of my system. Not everyone has to do that, okay? My mom's 66, she doesn't have to do that. But if she wanted to go out into masters competition and do track, there's people in their 90s still doing masters competition. If she wanted to go compete in something that was gonna have injury risk of tearing her ACL or something like that, well then by God, I would have her at least able, no matter what, at least able to handle her own weight. So think about that. If you just want a math formula of chances of knee surgery, it actually is how high you can jump. In a bad way, that's your potential to injure yourself. But I don't want to not pursue my goals in life. So that's what I've been able to do. Shitty knees, unable to grab rim until well into my 20s.
Literally, I don't know if he could touch the rim with his fingertips with no basketball or anything else.
Now I've made the greatest jump transformation after college of anyone that we know of. But it was by bulletproofing at the same time. You don't have to give one for the other, and in fact, the secret to finding out your potential is being bulletproof. Look at the top guys. Don't be fooled, right? Michael Jordan, back-to-back slam dunk champion. Did he ever jump higher than that? No. You can see it on the tape. He never jumped even an inch higher than when he was winning those back-to-back titles, dunking from the foul line, headed through. Then he met Tim Grover, who I love, I have a lot of respect for. But that's now the #1 selling jump book, doing a bunch of stuff that Jordan never did and never actually made him results. So what did Jordan do? He jumped. He wound up balanced, whether he realized it or not. Go ahead and look at the tape after he broke his left foot in his second year. Guess what happened? He was so stubborn, he wasn't even supposed to. He trained himself to dunk off his right. Watch what happened when he came back after that. He had a whole new level of explosiveness, because even a 5% increase of elasticity and bulletproofing at that level, he never went on to have a major knee injury. LeBron's never had a major knee injury. It's kind of hard to keep improving your athleticism when you're hurt or you're worried about getting hurt. So it's so simple, and that's my advice, is 10 reps once a week. I like to do it after. You saw me here. I finished my last set of squats. I did no warm-up, that was it. You saw me just start training. So after squats, you have blood in the right area. I'd rather have you a little tired, right? Because that's what it is. The math equation, right now, it's how high you jump, okay? It's a simple math. How high you jump versus how well you can land, and not just how well you can land, but how balanced you are between sides. There you go. It's that simple. You can completely, for every 10 non-contact knee surgeries, you'd probably have 1. And honestly, most of the knee injuries would just be from these actual impacts of someone hitting you. So you can totally change the world with that drill. And if someone still can't do that, well, I've never seen someone who can do that, but I also only train people with knee ability. So no equipment. You can do it at your pain-free level. And then it scales all the way to the top. And the gains you get give you more gains, meaning even now on the jump to get up, because of the maximal strength increase from the depth jump aspect, I now have even more power to get higher, to jump even higher on the rebound. It's a gift. Scientifically, it's a gift that keeps on giving, whereas depth jumps or box jumps, you're heading towards issue. Box jump, you're heading towards the issue of not addressing your tendons, not being able to handle the load. Depth jump, you're heading towards the issue of one knee. It's usually on depth jump, one knee starts hurting, okay? The conclusion is this. We want to have fun in our training, but what's our most fun thing, right? For me, I wouldn't trade to a billionaire what it's felt like to now be able to dunk, to self-create that. I've met billionaires, I've known billionaires. They're not as happy as I am. Money gets real limited. Spiritual enjoyment really has no limit. And it's more about what you conquer. So yes, some guys can naturally do it, or this or that, so whatever it is for you, there's so much joy waiting for you. So look, that's fun, right? But be smart about that and realize that a 2-up, 1 down jump could help you towards what do you really want to achieve. I want to be dunking when my son is dunking. He's freaking 0. I'm turning 30 in a couple months. You see what I'm saying? I need to be dunking 15, 16. So actually it's going to test me from both sides, because I have to get him to dunk and I have to be able to dunk. So I'm trained. The box jump is cool, but that's not what's going to make me dunk when I'm 46, 47 years old. You see what I'm saying? And the 2-up, 1 down jump, it is.